So if you're thinking about living in the West Palm Beach area, in this video, I am going to show you some of the favorite communities and towns that people that reach out to me want to move and live. So stand by, I'm going to tell you all about it. So, we've been talking about West Palm Beach, and a lot of people say they'd like to live in West Palm Beach. Well, West Palm really encompasses a much more broad area than just this small area of West Palm Beach. Now, I have done videos in the past, you can see in my video log, of West Palm Beach proper, where I focus on the historic districts that are here all along the Intracoastal. And it's kind of funny because I have heard over the years people that are new to the area or people that are wanting to move here. And we'll just be talking and they'll say that they want to live in Palm Beach, or they have a family member that lives in Palm Beach, or that they live in Palm Beach. And so to the ear of a local, when somebody says that they live in Palm Beach, that means they're talking about the island of Palm Beach, the town of Palm Beach, which is one of the highest net worth zip codes in the country, but it's also one of the most beautiful, luxurious beach towns that you'll ever experience. And it has Worth Avenue and wonderful restaurants and great shopping and the Breakers Resort and just beautiful outdoor things to do and social activities. And over the years, it's become more a part of the city of West Palm Beach. So I would say that this area is, all very similar. But it's not uncommon for people to live out west, say in Wellington, because they have an equestrian interest and that has an equestrian focus, or up in Jupiter because they want more of a beach lifestyle. So any of this, like from Jupiter, here's the the airport serves this whole area, and here it is right here. And so if you're in Palm Beach or West Palm, there's the airport. It's wonderful. But also, there are all these communities to the west and then to the north that are considered part of West Palm. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to just give you I'm going to put this on terrain so you can get a feel for the green effect, and we'll start talking about this. So before we continue, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Diane Wimbrow, and I'm a local realtor here in Northern Palm Beach County. And I get calls and texts and Zoom meetings with people all the time who are trying to figure out the right place to live here in Palm Beach County. And being a lifelong South Floridian and living in Palm Beach County for my whole adult life, I just love working with people and helping them figure out the right place for them. So if you would like to give me a call or shoot me a text at the number below, we can schedule a Zoom meeting. And if you hit the subscribe button and the bell, you'll be notified every time we have a new video. So we'll continue. So as I was saying about, the whole West Palm, Palm Beach thing, I just thought I would zoom in on this initially, so here's the island of Palm Beach. Here's the ocean, the Atlantic Ocean. And then here's West Palm. And you'll see in one of my other videos, I did 5 popular neighborhoods in West Palm Beach, which would be like El Cid, Central Park, Vedado, Flamingo Park, and so on. So, and as you can see, here you've got the airport right here, like 10 minutes away. And, there is another section of West Palm that I didn't address because this is really the heart of West Palm here downtown. But out here at the north end of West Palm, we've got, just not showing it here, but Good Sam Hospital is here, and here's the Intracoastal. And then you follow Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard out, and this is kind of the main shopping area for people that live in West Palm and Palm Beach. If you're not shopping at the Publix in Palm Beach, there's the Whole Foods here, there's the Outlet Mall, and this whole Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard is just full of stores and businesses, and it's a very commercial district. So, but tucked in here, like right around in here, there's the Palm Club. So here, like Bear Lakes Country Club, this is kind of like the 80s and 90s. This got developed. This is an older area. This got developed in here. So there's Bear Lakes Country Club, and it's more of like the homes over along the Intracoastal in West Palm. You're having a hard time finding anything that's less than $1 million in that area. But over here there's some nice homes and townhouses and condos that are more reasonable, and you're still in this, the thick of it. You're close to downtown, you're close to Palm Beach. It's a great spot for a second home, even depending upon how much you're wanting to spend. So that's that. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about was, so what I thought I would do was, there's kind of this thing that goes on with, you either like to live east or you like to live inland. And, it has its pros and its cons. And I just have lived here all my life. So we've always lived east of US 1. Like, here's US 1. I'm always east of US 1. Even when I lived in Fort Lauderdale or when I lived in Lighthouse Point near Boca, I like being near the water. I like being able to have a boat and get it in the water fast. I like to be able to go to the beach. But some people aren't as interested in that. And especially if they're coming from other areas, they're just enjoying the fact that the weather is nice and it's not cold, it's not snowing, and we have a lot of green space. So a lot of people really like to live in golf communities, or maybe they're equestrian oriented. And there's even some communities I'll show you out west that have airfields where you can keep your airplane right in your backyard. So there's a little bit of something for everyone. And so I'm going to not focus so much there on the east. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of take you out to Wellington. So here's West Palm, and I had friends when I worked in Palm Beach for years. I had friends that had families and they lived in Wellington because it's a very family-friendly community. It's very focused on the family. There's a lot of parks. It's really focused on equestrian, and there are like barns there that are worth more than people's homes, so it's got a mix of everything. So here's Wellington, and here's downtown. And so basically you take Southern Boulevard and it's right by the airport, or Southern. So they've turned this into almost like an expressway. And as you can see, we're very grid oriented because our terrain is so flat. So it's really easy to get around. And the main roads that get you north and south are 95 or the Turnpike. And then most people relate the cross street of 95 to where they're going. So in this case, Southern meets 95 here, you take it straight, it's a straight shot. And as you go through this area, there's, development after development. Most of this was developed, are kind of older developments, but there's a little bit of everything. Golf communities, single family homes, condos, and like I just showed you here, like lots of parks. Like this is Okehele Park. And then when you get out to Wellington, there is, you can see Riverwalk. That's a big development. Here's the Florida Fairgrounds. You pass here, and there's a big water park there, Calypso Water Park for kids. And you get out here to Wellington. So here in Wellington, we've got you can see it's all developed, and it's all preserve west of Wellington, the environmental preserve. And you're going to see that when I talk about some other areas. Palm Beach County has a lot more preserved green space than, say, Broward County, which is where Fort Lauderdale is, or Miami. And I think it just speaks to when the area was developed and was more recent development out west here in Palm Beach County, and the county did its best to try to preserve green space as much as possible. So there is a lot more of that. And so here we are in Wellington, and I was going to show you because it's kind of fun how you can, like if I zoom in. Okay, so here we are out in Wellington, and this is Southern Boulevard here that is come out here, and this is sort of the main road that goes down and feeds into Shore Boulevard, and all of this is Wellington. And as you can see, 441 is really another north-south corridor like 95 in the Turnpike, except it's got red lights, but it's a big 6-lane road, and it goes all the way north to Palm Beach Gardens. And as you can see here, all these communities, all with man-made, water features around them, single family homes. And then here, I just wanted to share, because this really is, some of the wealthiest people in the world have second homes here because of the equestrian focus. And some people have barns that are bigger than giant mansions, and you could buy a $20 million house and it has $6 million of that as their barn. So it's kind of like West Palm and Palm Beach. There is something for everyone. But one thing about Wellington is that it is really family oriented in addition to the equestrian orientation. And then also here, like I said before, this Aero Club, this is where people even have their planes right in their backyard. So that's Wellington. And just a little north of here, because sometimes I get a lot of people that ask me about, new construction. And when you live east, there's not a lot of large developments of new construction, except when I get to talking about Palm Beach Gardens. But most of the eastern communities that are along US 1, east of US 1, the newer construction is just going to be tear down situations where houses are getting rebuilt. But here in just north of Wellington is Westlake. And this is the newest community that's going in. And as you can see, it's got a picture here of someone's beautiful backyard. So that's a new development that is a consideration if you find that a Western community is somewhere where you want to be. And then I'm just going to zoom back out. You can see all this preserved ag land here. Here's Lion Country Safari, which used to be so far out, but now it's just west of Wellington. And then these other communities here just north of Wellington, like Royal Palm and Loxahatchee, they're not quite the luxury orientation of Wellington, but people love Loxahatchee, people love Royal Palm Beach because there is more reasonable properties there. And then also there are large parcels, people who want to be like out on the farm and have their own animals and they want more space. That would be Loxahatchee. And then as you can see here, all this green space here, these grassy water preserves, this wildlife management area, these are all preserves for our water supply and also just thoughtful preservation for the future. See how far up it goes. So this is I think it's about 20 miles from Wellington to West Palm. So it's really not bad. You can get to the airport in a half hour. You can get to downtown Palm Beach in a half hour. So that's kind of the West Palm area. People who live in Wellington are really living in the West Palm community. Okay, so now I'm going to take us up just a little bit north. We just talked about Wellington here. And so now I'm going to come back over here to West Palm and we're going to go, recently I did an episode on my favorite beach towns. And so I started up here like Palm Beach Shores, Singer Island, North Palm Beach, Juneau, and this whole, again, like me being the East Coast girl, those were all Eastern. But I want to talk about the Western communities. So here we had talked about Loxahatchee and Westlake. So if you go up 95 from West Palm and you're still going to be like, once you get to around North Palm Beach, a sister city is to North Palm is Palm Beach Gardens. And here it is. So it's like right off of I-95 at PGA Boulevard. And Palm Beach Gardens, it's probably like even it's a younger city than most of these other cities like North Palm or West Palm Beach or maybe even Wellington, but it has grown a lot over the last few years. And I rode around the other day just because I was thinking about doing this video. And so Palm Beach Gardens is like, it has it all. And it has a lot of golf communities, gated communities, planned communities. The majority of Palm Beach Gardens, and I think I can do this so you can see so this is Palm Beach Gardens. But most people think of Palm Beach Gardens just like being east over here. So PGA Boulevard from US 1, you go over the intercoastal here, and there's some new development going on here, some really high-end luxury condos right here, low rise, very nice. And then this whole stretch of PGA Boulevard to get to 95 is the road itself there's the Gardens Mall, there's Trader Joe's, there's restaurants. And then as you go west of 95, continuing on PGA Boulevard, all this whole stretch is like newer development that has happened in the last like 10, 15 years of low rise, 2-story buildings with just like every wonderful restaurant, this whole length of PGA. So I think that's kind of what Palm Beach Gardens is known for. They have like a really fantastic gym that's over here but like there's Whole Foods in here and there's a great gym. So that's PGA Boulevard right there is the heart of Palm Beach Gardens. And as you come out here, you can see, so here's PGA Boulevard. And that comes all the way to the Intracoastal and comes all the way out till you're out in the wilderness. And it's really not that far. Again, here it's not even, it's probably 10 miles. Karen Marcus Preserve out here till you get to the Beeline Highway. And this Beeline Highway runs from Riviera Beach all the way up and out. And that's where Pratt Whitney is. And, you know, you're out in the woods. So just to give you an idea, like here you got PGA National here that's just west of the Turnpike. And this is a members club. It's got a hotel. It's been developed into little pods of single family homes. They're all very nice. It's a gated community, but it's public streets, so you can drive through. And this is true for Palm Beach Gardens. Here's PGA Boulevard. Here's PGA National. You can ride through PGA National and you end up here at North Lake Boulevard, and this is kind of the lower boundary of Palm Beach Gardens. And then if I zoom in a little more, you're going to see, I mean, there's just so many wonderful neighborhoods. It's amazing. If you want to live in like a golf community, or you want to be in a gated community, you don't care about being on the water. And some of these private communities even have like beach clubs over at the beach where you can have beach access if you want it. So like Mirasol is a beautiful community. This is just north of PGA National and west of the Turnpike. The Turnpike's kind of close here because, as you can see, the Turnpike and 95 are just, when you get up toward Jupiter, they run along parallel to each other for a while. So that's really like, here's Ballin Isles. There's just beautiful clubs and communities all throughout here. And so the nice thing about it is when you're driving, like when you're driving on PGA or you're driving through some of these, I think that's like Center Street is like right here, that's Central Boulevard. Because these developments are so well planned, the traffic flow really works a lot better too, because most of what you're seeing along the road that you're driving, you know, there's good rights of way and they're all landscaped beautifully. And so it has a really well planned feel to it. And there is a lot of stuff going on in Palm Beach Gardens these days. There's a lot of companies moving in. They're opening a Brightline station here right around PGA and 95, and then they're building some new apartments here. So as you can see, there's just tons of little different planned developments. I mean, like if you're down in Broward County, having been a person who grew up there, you can just drive west forever and they have filled in the Everglades and it's just development after development. But this really isn't this much of a distance. You know, here's an I-95 in the middle here. And, you know, people that live out here at PGA National, it's nothing to drive in and go to the beach or have your boat here, you know, along Lake Worth. And then again, here's PGA and here's downtown right here. So you're not that far. It's, again, no more than like a half-hour drive. So half hour to the airport, half hour to downtown, half hour to Palm Beach. It's all very convenient. And as you can see, all this natural preserve, which also has a lot of like bike trails. And the last part that I'm going to talk about is Jupiter and the western part of Jupiter. When I did my last video, Jupiter was one of the beach towns that I have on my top list. And here it is. We focused all here along the beach. Jupiter goes, Indiantown Road is the main road through Jupiter. And again, there's just beautiful developments and very thoughtful development, a lot of green space, but the main developments here are like Jonathan's Landing, Admiral's Cove, and then down south here, the Abacoa development was done about 20 years ago when the John D. MacArthur Foundation started selling off large parcels of property, and this was all planned. So there's just all these neighborhoods built here, beautifully done. Here's Donald Ross Road, which is the dividing road from Palm Beach Gardens and Jupiter. There's spring training baseball in here, and FAU has a campus here. And then there's all these developments that are, you know, beautifully done, and most are gated. And then here we are back to Indiantown Road, again, north of Indiantown Road developments, but you've got the river network that comes down through here. And a lot of these homes are on the river. And then a really popular place to live, which I used to have a friend that moved here when I graduated from high school. Her dad bought some property because she had horses, and Jupiter Farms out here. And this is for people who, Burt Reynolds had a big property out here, people who want to have land. They want to have their animals. They want to have their life to themselves. It's really fun. I like it. And then there's some private, you can see the Dye Preserve, a golf club, and Jonathan's Landing has another golf course up here. And there's the Loxahatchee River Natural Area. And so there's a lot of nature intertwined in this and lots of opportunities for great places to live. So I hope this is helpful. And if you have any questions, you'll leave them in the comments for me. And if you want to give me a call or text me if you'd like to talk or ask me any questions or schedule a Zoom call, I'd love to talk to you. I enjoy this. I enjoy helping people figure out where to live. And our team this is what we're all about. And so if you hit the like and subscribe button below, then you'll be notified every time we have a new video. And thanks for watching.